Bernard Pollard's out there taking some big swings on social media. He's earned the right. Super Bowl champ, played for a decade in the NFL, the former Ravens safety. I said today, well, first of all, you've certainly earned it. You're a hell of a player. And my second takeaway is that there is a feeling among players that it's not something that usually goes public. But I've heard players say, if I'm a wide receiver, I kind of want to go with a star quarterback. OBJ was unhappy with Baker. OBJ seems way happier with Matt Stafford. So, I get it. So, Bernard, were you surprised that that Lamar reacted to you?
No. At the end of the day, as I tell people all the time, at some point in time, players have enough. They have taken enough, and I completely understand. I think he misunderstood where I said, this dude should be the top paid quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens. Now, I think the Ravens are the only place that should pay him top dollar. So whatever Watson got, Lamar should get that plus 15 to 20 more, guaranteed, just because of what he's done for the organization.
Yeah.
Having said that, I do believe there are things that he needs to fix in his game in order to take that team to the promised land. Now,
when Hollywood Brown left, there's different reports, Bernard. Some of them are he wanted to go to Kyler, who's a better thrower of the football, right? And other people said, well, it was the Baltimore offense. But I would argue the Baltimore offense is built because of what Lamar does well and not so well. So give me some insight, your belief. You know the Ravens well and their kind of ecosystem. Why did Hollywood Brown leave?
So as far as with Hollywood Brown, I don't know or understand, why he wanted to get out. Maybe he knew they weren't going to pay him, knowing him and Lamar was coming up to be paid. So maybe he knew that wasn't happening. So he wasn't happy with that. So he wanted to get out of town. I think when you talk about this offense, I've heard so many people all the time talk about Greg Roman is holding Lamar back.
Yeah.
I think if you get a new OC, I think he exposes what Lamar can't do. And I tell people all the time, when you look at pure quarterbacks, when you look at what these quarterbacks in the game are doing, Lamar is special. He really is. He's a special talent. I think, he's legs first and then his arms come second. He's a guy that moves the defense with his legs. And that is true. Some people may not like that. I understand it, but that is the truth. Defenses fear him because of his ability to run. When it comes to his ability to throw the football, I think he lacks in those areas. And when you look at Greg Roman, he's coming, as I said yesterday, and I stand by this because of the comments that he said, he has a pacifier in his mouth. He's not making any checks. He's not moving the O-line. He's not checking out a certain place to put himself into a better situation offensively. He's going in, and what John Harbaugh, what Greg Roman, what Lamar Jackson is doing and the offense is doing is saying, my number 8 is better than your 11. And 95% of the time, that is probably true. But backyard football is not sustainable in this National Football League.
Do you believe players absolutely evolve? We saw Josh Allen from college to his third year in the NFL as like a different player. Do you think there's just because of, I see somebody told me this years ago that if it's almost biblical, that if you have a gift, like a great singing voice, you're going to sing in the shower, you're going to sing in the car, you have to let it out. Lamar is so fast. He is so unique that he's going to run. It's just in him. It's innate. It's his instinct on a 3rd and 7. If the first guy is not open, he's off and running. I don't blame him for it. It's just the way people operate. Do you think he could change that, or we have to come to terms with his uniqueness is never going to allow him to be a patient pocket quarterback?
Well, I agree with what you're saying, Colin. I look at Lamar, and I think one of the big things when you look at people in the black community, they're always talking about how you coming down on a black man and this and that. Let me let you know something. I think from the start of this thing, we as black players, and we see this talent growing up. We see that kid that was running around throwing the ball, and we was like, man, that quarterback was shaking. He was doing all of this, and then he just threw the ball later or whatever. But he's a runner. We've seen that for so long growing up. And then now all of a sudden we see it now in the National Football League. And we're like, this dude is in the National Football League. We gotta get behind him and go. I'm with all of that. I want him to succeed. I don't care that he's black. I want him to succeed. But like you said, I think the running thing that's his natural instinct. And so when people say, well, we don't have a good offensive line. Well, his running ability, a good offensive tackle, a really good guard, they're going to be like, yo, bro, we're making this pocket for you to throw the ball in. And when he's sitting there running after he doesn't see his first read or that thing across the middle open, he wants to run. And so now that's holding penalties that your offensive line is going to get. You put the big boys, now they got to run and block and everything else. And when Lamar puts himself in these positions, he exposes himself to hits. And like I tell people all the time, when we look at this, we look at franchise quarterbacks, Lamar was an MVP. He was phenomenal. He was fantastic, but there were still flaws in his game. Why? There's something going on. There's a reason why Baltimore has not paid him. I hope they come back and go, you know what? Let us prove them wrong. We're going to pay him top dollar. But there's a reason they have not paid him yet.
Yeah, it's see, and this is where I've argued I'd pay him. In the National Football League, in almost all sports, are you a winning player? So Jimmy Garoppolo's not nearly as dynamic as Lamar, but I'll fight this. Dude wins a lot of games. Kyle Shanahan's record without Garoppolo is bad, and Kyle's an excellent coach. To me, Lamar wins 75% of the games he starts, and you're in the playoff hunt every year. Every year he's your quarterback. I'm paying him. Now, I don't want to pay him Mahomes money because I don't think he has all the throwing mechanics and abilities. But I would pay him. Would you pay him $38 million a year? Would you?
If I'm Baltimore, and I stand on this, Baltimore owes him that money. He has taken them. He has done things for that organization. And I think this is the reason we see such a fall off from regular season to playoffs is because Lamar has done it all in 17 games. He has put everything out there. He has ran the ball. He has passed the ball. He has led the team in rushing. He has been top 2 in rushing. He has led the team in passing. And even on some of the passes, he has had to do things in the running game or with his legs to open up the passing lanes. And I tell people all the time, that is good. Like, he got 1,700 yards rushing his first year. That's cool. But all of them yards cost something. And people don't get that. And everybody go, well, he's only 23. He has time. He's only 24. He has time. He's 25. Like, we can't keep saying this man has time. He has got to take that mouthpiece out of his mouth. He has got to check. I think that's one of the biggest things for me when I watch a football game. I'm looking like, bro, like they're blitzing and you haven't even checked because they're saying he's better than the 11. But then at the end of the day, he's running right into that blitz because that's where he eluded. And that right there is going to continue to hold this organization, this team back. And I just want him to get better at that. And, I mean, he took it personal. He threw insults. But I'm fine. And, Danny, I'm a big boy. We can go back and forth. And for everybody that's riding behind the bull crap that he's saying, it's cool. I want him to be paid. I want him to get everything he's got. But I just want him to be a better quarterback to take that team to the promised land. But until he does that, it ain't happening. Yeah.
Now, if I was Lamar's agent, whoever represents him now, I would argue, well, Peyton Manning struggled for years in the playoffs. Sometimes it takes more time. The AFC's got so many good teams. I think about this all the time, Bernard. Like I try to personalize these stories. So in my business, the radio TV business, right, the talking head business, right, guys like me, Stephen A's style is different than mine. Skip's style is different than mine. There's a bunch of different ways to make your company money and to be semi-popular or popular. Not everybody can do Mahomes. But Lamar, what he does it better than anybody, and it makes them win a bunch of games. And so I think I think to myself, not everybody in every industry can be Peyton Manning or can be Howard Stern or whoever you think's a great talk show host. Are you productive? Do you win games? Do you make people better? Are you relevant? And he checks all those boxes. That's why, because I hear all these criticisms, and I'm like, you know what you don't want to be in the NFL? Watching the playoffs on TV. So Jay Glazer once said this to me, Bernard, it's so true. He goes, NFL head coach, if you don't have a viable quarterback, is the worst great job in the world. You are driving to the practice facility in the winter going, we're getting our teeth kicked in Sunday. So that's why I always feel like I would have to pay Lamar. I hope he gets paid. Listen, I just like the fact you gave me content today, Bernard. You're out there throwing haymakers. Gotta be honest. I kind of liked it. Listen, always welcome on the show. Hope you're having a great summer. Congrats on a great career, and thank you for answering our call today.
I appreciate you. Thank you for having me, Colin.
All right, Bernard Pollard. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.